So, could you describe to me what life was like the month before the invasion? What you were feeling, what information you were getting?
Well, we already were worried. We heard about the Russian troops being gathered on the border and on the Russian border and Belarusian border. So we were kind of already panicking. There was just a noise of people, and just the noise of worrying about this, what might happen. And I could say like I was looking at Kiev, and I consider it home now. Like if even if I go to Sumy, it doesn't feel like home anymore. I know I'm not living there for that long, but I do love the city. It's so beautiful. And I remember just driving from office to work or taking Sky for a walk. Sky is my dog. That's his name. And looking at Kiev and thinking, how could anybody just damage it? It's just, it's going to be such a shame if this city will be destroyed even a little bit because it's so amazing. And maybe I was, in a way, saying goodbye to it or something like that, just preparing myself. Yeah. And also trying to distract myself from these thoughts. So it was like forgetting at some point, trying to be blind to the fact that there is a threat, and then waking up when I'm faced with the facts that something might actually happen. And we were all worried. My friends, my family, even Doximy management.
Mhm.
And we were kind of preparing a contingency plan. So I could not be ignorant of the fact because I was involved in that in preparation, and actually really happy right now that we did that. Uh, but yeah, it was already building up to even a month ago, a month before the invasion. I think not just a month. It started like 3 months before that.
Yeah.
We already we were feeling that something might happen.
So there wasn't a big range of response a month before, because I've read in the paper and even other people I've interviewed for this project, they have friends and family who didn't think it would happen. But all of your friends and family were kind of on the same page as you, full of
I guess
dread.
if I started to talk about it, I was more worried than them.
Mhm.
Um, I had to speak to my parents about it. We needed to have a plan because they live in Sumy, so we needed to figure out what we are doing. I'm in Kiev. Are they coming to Kiev in case something happens? And well, they're still in Sumy. My dad refused to leave, and he was adamant about it from the beginning. He's not gonna leave, and even if something happens, which I think we were all hoping that nothing will happen. We were just
Yeah.
really wanted to believe in that everything will be okay. And well, my dad probably worried, but he didn't want to show it that much. And he said, if anything, he'll join the army,
Hmm.
which he tried, but he was not accepted because he's old and sick. So unfortunately, unfortunately for us, but he's just bored at home right now and doesn't know what to do with himself. Still doesn't
Hmm.
want to leave. Yeah, in Sumy, uh, people were less worried than in Kiev.
Hmm.
I could say nobody was preparing for that. Everybody knew something's going on,
Hmm.
but nobody had a plan. No one even talked about it. So when I came and talked to them, they had to somehow respond to me, but they were like, "Oh, you're just panicking. It's gonna be okay."
How are they doing now, your parents?
Uh, I was spending nights in the common area between the flats inside because it's a block of apartments building. Uh, they don't go into the basement because it's too cold.
Hmm.
Um, well, They say they're okay. They have enough food and water. They prepared. They even have some gas. They go refuel sometimes. My dad was queuing for 2 days to refuel his car. Um, they say they're fine, but of course, it takes a toll on a human, on a person in their age. When they don't sleep, they are constantly worried about me, uh, about other friends in the area because also their friends stayed there. Just yesterday, my aunt and my nephew left Sumy through the Green Corridor, and they're now somewhere on the Polish border. I think it's unclear where they are right now. But yeah, my parents are fine. And I guess the biggest part of that is due to the fact I'm here. I'm not in Kiev anymore. When I was in Kiev, my mom was just so panicked and so worried. And when I was driving out of Kiev as well, she would call me like every hour. What's your update? What's your update? Because yeah, it was dangerous. Right now, still, they are planning to go and live in our summer house and plant, do the usual
Wow.
spring planting of the garden. She's looking forward to that. This is big reason why they don't want to leave, because they don't want to leave that routine of theirs, something that
Right.
feels normal.
So tell me about your life since February 24th. When did you evacuate Kyiv, and what have your days been like?
I tried to evacuate the same day. I woke up from a call from my colleague, Alexandra. Uh, we were talking just like the same week. If anything happens, what we would do, what's her plan. And it was Thursday. So Thursday is normally we gather in the office, everybody who is in Kiev are invited to just join in the office this one day a week when we like bring pizza, we just chat because everybody's remote and they can work from home. There is no pressure to go to the office. But on Thursday, we gather and I texted girls like because it's a little bit I could feel like it's just so unsettling that something might happen, and just to feel comforted I wanted to bring as many people to the office as I could on that Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just so it's not as scary when we're together. We can still like feel that this is still a normal life. And of course, nobody came to the office because everyone either evacuated or stayed home. But yeah, Alexandra called me at 5 a.m. I think, or 5:30. Yeah, saying that Ola, wake up, the war started, we have to go. And so that is the worst, I mean, the worst words you could wake up to. They are shooting, the war started, get up, get up. And she was just repeating that. And I was like, what? Because I was still awake, and I constantly felt that something is wrong, of course, when she was calling in the middle of the night. But I just didn't want to believe that. And even in her voice, she was panicked and scared. But I thought she's laughing or something like this kind of. You want to think that it's a joke, uh,
Yeah.
but I think those were tears in her voice. And well, I started packing, and I had no idea how much time I had. I was just running around the flat, just thinking, what do I need to take? Although I had we all had a bag prepared, a panic bag with all the documents. We all thought something might happen, so we just needed to be ready. But it's not enough, of course, just to grab a bag, and you don't know when you're coming back or if you ever coming back home. So I started packing some clothes, um, packing food for my dog, or medicines that I might need, not just the like very necessary things, but whatever I might need in the long term as well. Of course, in that state, it was, I don't know. I should have thought better. I should have prepared better. Because now I just have two hoodies and two pants, no pajama, nothing for home. Whatever I sleep in, I walk in the street as well. Um, anyway, yeah. So I called my friend, I called my mom, I tried to call other colleagues. Then when I was packing, so I was packing and calling everybody, and a friend who lives just on the same street with me, we were in agreement that if anything happens, I will pick her up with my car because she doesn't have any car, and that's what we did. We met and had to drop her flatmate on the left bank of Kiev, on the other side of the river, which is a different way we needed to go, but well, we couldn't leave him because there was no transport, nothing. The whole city was awake. All neighbors were also running, packing with bags, and everybody was panicked. And although I didn't hear any noise in my area, but I could see that, well, everybody's just in distress. So
Olga, what time was the first attack?
I think 5:20
Five
or
on February 24th?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Alexandra called you minutes afterwards.
Yeah, actually, she
And
heard it. She heard because she was living in the area and not far from it.
yeah.
That's why she was saying
So
they
could
are
you back
shooting.
up and tell me about the man that you left on the left bank, did you say?
Yeah, yeah. It's a roommate of my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're renting an apartment together, and his not his family, his girlfriend's family were living on the left bank of
Oh.
like Kiev has is like a there it's not divided by the river, so we are living on the right bank of the river, and there is a left bank which is more residential area. He needed to go to his girlfriend and her family to evacuate Kiev together, so we
Mm-hmm.
dropped him there, and then we got stuck in traffic on the way crossing the river back to the right bank, and it just since we lost so much time, uh, there was a lot of traffic. I don't know, we were stuck for maybe an hour and a half, and we didn't leave Kiev yet. It was just in the center. We were still in the center, and there was no end to the traffic. So we started to like feel like we didn't eat anything, of course. We were hungry. We want to go and use the bathroom. We don't know what to do. Just two girls in the car and the dog, and really felt like we just want to go home. Like just maybe this is some mistake. Maybe there's some misunderstanding. Maybe they will solve it in like 24 hours. Who knows? Yeah, we just refuse to believe that this is real and we need to go. And who knows how long the traffic will take. So I decided to deviate from the road, and we were in an area where we could actually go to our office of Doximi,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we went because we needed to use bathroom, we needed to eat, we need to like replan, recenter, just to calm down and think what we're gonna do next. Um, yeah, because my car was full as well. My tank was full with the fuel, but I already heard that there are really long lines
Mm-hmm.
to refuel the car, so we will definitely not gonna last long if we're just standing in traffic, like because we're still
Exactly.
standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did go to the office on Thursday. I was alone there, without a keys, without a access key, nothing because I didn't prepare. But security let me in. We used what we needed to use. We ate and calmed down in there and decided to go home. This was the first day. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
We were not ready to leave Kiev because it just felt scary, and we didn't know what's waiting for us. We knew about the huge lines, like cars are just standing on the road. That's it, not even moving. So we thought maybe the best way is just to stay and see what happens. But the first night was very scary Second night even worse than that. First night was spent in the subway, the bomb shelter, because we heard noises of bombs and something actually blew up very near. Um, so yeah, we just spent the night in there on a cold concrete floor.
How many other people were there?
A lot. We didn't go all the way in. We were like in a foyer of subway because also we felt like if we go down, down, down with the escalator, uh, there's only one exit then, and there probably so many people. So if something happens, we just felt like we will be buried there. So we just
Yeah.
thought we will stay next to the doors, and yeah, there were 50 people in the foyer, and when the sirens were off, well, sirens were not going all the time, but there was an airstrike possibility, like a warning, so they would cancel it. Sirens would go on, and then we needed to wait in the shelter until the cancellation of the warning. And
Was there much conversation in the foyer,
yeah,
or were people just silent?
well, some were sleeping, some were just talking amongst their families,
Yeah.
and we were actually making friends too. There was a girl from Sumy accidentally there. She was living nearby, but she's originally from Sumy, so she was living alone and she was just standing alone. So we wanted to bring her in and give some comfort. I imagine it's really scary to be alone at this time in this situation. Yeah, and we were talking to other people. How do they know when the warning is cancelled? If we can go out. They were watching news for that. So we just kind of like to be to feel more confident and comfortable. We needed to talk to people.
Right. I'm so glad you had your friend with you. That probably made a big difference.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, she's
So
still.
the next day, do you return to your apartment, your flat?
We returned to her apartment.
Hmm.
We returned to her, and another person from Sumy was stuck. My friend was stuck in Kiev. He came on a work trip, and he was just there when this all happened. So he joined us as well. So there were now three of us, and yeah, till Lviv. Well, actually, we spent almost a week traveling to Lviv.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because first, well, yeah, I arrived to Lviv. It's all a blur now. To be honest, so much happened that I cannot. I thought I should write this down, but never got to do that. So the first night was spent in the subway. Then the second night was spent at home. It was actually, we felt like it's not safe to stay in my area because it's the center, and a lot of administration is there. So if it's targeted, we might get, hurt. Something might happen in that area. So we left. I asked my boss, Heath, if I could go and hide in his cellar in his house, and he said yes, definitely. If you need a shelter, please go ahead, because he was already in Lviv, and I think on Thursday left to he crossed the border, left to Poland. So yeah, we stayed the second night in the cellar, and the worst thing we were worried about is just marauders. I think it's the same word in English. The
I don't know.
looters. So basically,
Looters. Okay.
looters. Yeah, uh, not even just like bombs and or some shooting, but mostly about looters. For some reason, it was so scary. If um, we've heard from news that there are street fights in Kiev now, not just airstrikes, but also street fights. So there are either Russian troops or um, from Chechnya, from Kadyrov's army, were in there in Kiev. But of course, I'm not sure if that was true. There were a lot of fakes
Mhm.
going around, but still, there was no way for us to know. So we were mostly worried about people coming in the house, just to,
Mhm.
um, I don't know, steal things, hurt people, or whatever they are up for. And it was that night when we decided, like, if this continues, we have to get out of Kiev. It's impossible to be under this stress. It's impossible to sleep like this and just listen to every noise. Since it was a private house on that street, there were well, it's just a private houses everywhere, and they have dogs in there. So if somebody's walking, the dog would bark, and every time the dog barks, we were like, oh, somebody's coming. It was just really scary time.
And meanwhile, your dog was with you this whole time, right?
Yeah, yeah. But my dog,
And how would
luckily, he's not barking. He's very quiet.
Okay,
That
good.
was good. Yeah, this is one of the pluses of him. He's very active and happy dog. He's a Labrador. He has this golden retriever attitude. Um, but he's not barking. He's not like that. So yeah, he was with me, bringing some comfort. But at the same time, I was worried for him because it was cold in the subway, cold in this cellar as well. And I thought if he's gonna get sick, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because in this situation, this is gonna be even worse if I have a sick dog on my hands. And he is allergic. He gets sick a lot, actually.
Mm,
We've gone through a lot of visits to vet with him, so that would be the worst even. But luckily, everything went all right. And so
good.
on the third day, we left Kiev. Just checked on Google Maps which road is not blocked, like with traffic, which one is free to go, and that
Mhm.
does not involve us crossing the bridge to the left bank, because
Mhm.
all the bridges were blocked. You could only cross by foot. And so,
And were they blocked to tell me why you think they were blocked?
well, they were not letting cars to go anymore, because, and as we've heard, there were bombs installed just in case if the Russians would be coming from the left side, left bank, they could not
Okay.
cross. It was done by Ukrainian uh,
Hmm.
military. Yeah, and cars were not allowed to go. And at that point, subway as well stopped working, because subway was only taking people in for the shelter.
Wow. So how did you exit the city?
Yeah, we went south. Yeah, but we were on
Yeah,
the right side. We were on the right bank. We didn't have to go on the left.
got
That's
it.
not where we wanted to go. That's east of Ukraine. So we went south.
Hmm.
Spent a night at my friend's place in the village. They were really surprised to see a big dog. Dogs sleep outside in the village. The dogs are not allowed. It was a big issue that we brought in the dog into the house. Plus, they didn't expect it to be this big. Yeah. Then went to Cherkasy. Spent 2 nights there.
So after the night there, where did you head?
After Cherkasy, we set off to Lviv. But of course, we were not sure how far we will go, because there were checkpoints everywhere, and they would slow down us a lot because there would be traffic accumulated at checkpoints. So we just set off to Lviv, but we didn't have any um, like a location where we would reach and sleep. And we were switching. Whoever was not driving would be checking the map, checking where can we sleep, and um,
Hmm.
if there is any shelter. So all this time, just friends were taking us in. We would be texting, "Do you have anybody in this place?" And whoever is free to do like a check They would call, they would spread the word, we need help, we need somebody to find an apartment for like 3 people and a dog. And yeah,
Mhm.
it was a really nice, I felt people are so welcoming, and if something bad like this happens, just they would take you in, they would give you food, they would give you even clothes. Felt proud, like really, really proud to be Ukrainian. Uh, and the whole we even have this website. It's like an Airbnb, but for the war situation,
Wow.
that takes people in. So in each city, they write like, I have a place for like 2 people. I can take 15 people. It's like probably school, or like they would just make the beds
Mm.
in there. There is shower. There is we will provide food. So it's called Prihystok in UA. Prihystok means shelter. Just for 1 or 2 nights, if you need a place to sleep, you could check that it's still working for those who want to go.
Do you see any changes in yourself now that it's been almost 3 weeks?
I think I'm able to sleep through the night now. If there are
Hmm.
no sirens, I wake up and of course I check my phone, check if my mom called or my mom sent any message. But I don't wake up in the middle of the night to do that.
Yeah.
We used to do that three times maybe at
Hmm.
night. Um, I think I am less. I don't feel that much anger anymore. Of course, it's there,
Oh.
but I try because I know it's poisoning me. First of all, it's making me feel bad, and this hatred that I feel towards
Hmm.
people who are doing it,
Mm.
it's first of all affecting myself, my emotional state, and my health. So I'm trying to let go of that, and I feel, yeah, I feel much better now. But again, I feel guilty. It's like a survivor's guilt that I am able to sleep normally in a warm place, whereas uh, in other parts of Ukraine, it's just terrible. People don't have any water or electricity or food for weeks, and hospitals are being bombed, and kids are dying. It's again, it feels remote right now, but it's my country. It's still real,
Yeah.
and I feel like I should maybe do something to help. Um, Feeling very helpless at the same time.
Have you found anything that has felt useful to you?
We went volunteering at the local hub for volunteers. The people just like humanitarian help comes there. It's a central humanitarian hub in Lviv, and volunteers would segregate it just to I don't know, sort whatever they can be sent further, and it's hard to explain. So we were just segregating clothes for a few
Yes.
hours. Yeah, we would be
Hmm.
like separating uh, something that is unusable anymore and something
Yeah.
that can be used. And like for kids with age difference, we would have a pile for uh, I don't know, 3 to 5 year olds, then 6 to 7, something like that. Well, for men, for women, pants, clothes, like coats, something warm, something light. So was just separating that. It felt useful.
And did
Felt,
that help you feel useful?
yeah, yeah. I felt like I'm
Yeah.
physically doing something that might help somebody.
Olga, what are your feelings and the feelings of your friends about Zelensky?
Uh, I have my friends. They have various feelings about that, about him. Personally, before war, I was not a fan about Zelensky, and I even when he was given a speech, I would be like, "Oh my God, this is our president. How can it be?" Because I felt embarrassed. His Ukrainian is not very good. he's a Russian speaking. He used to be a Russian speaking person, so he started taking lessons to be more fluent in Ukrainian, and he still makes mistakes. It's understandable, but yeah. I mean, he used to do it. Now, when this started, I feel nothing but respect, honestly, and I'm proud of him, and I'm really surprised that he became this figure that is holding the whole country, um, and just I mean, so many people rely on him, and when he speaks,
Yes.
he's so much more confident now. He's like, it's transformed, and even my opinion of
Yes.
Zelensky transformed a lot. Yeah, and his Ukrainian
He
is much
seems to
better.
be, yeah, he seems to be perfectly suited for this situation.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share?
No, actually, uh, I've spoken a lot. I feel like I was singing a really long song.
So, Olga, I just feel very honored that you were willing to share your story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And my prayers are with you, and my heart is with you.
Thank you. I appreciate we all.
And I hope you sleep well tonight.